In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 best cold email tools you should be using to generate more leads and appointments. I've personally tested over 200 tools and spent thousands of dollars trying to find the best tools. And today I'm sharing the best ones with you, so hopefully you can save some time. If you don't know me, I'm Romain Osman. I co-founded 5element, and over the past year, we've generated over 1,000 sales appointments for B2B companies using cold email and LinkedIn outreach. So the tools I'm going to talk about covers everything from scraping data to verifying leads, sending emails, etc. For each tool, I'll explain what it does and why we use it. They're not ranked in order. Each tool serves a different purpose. And so you'll get the link in the description. Some are affiliate links where you can get some bonuses, and some aren't. So the first tool is Smartlead. It's currently the best cold email sending tool on the market. That's currently what we use to send our emails. It's very affordable. For $94 per month, you can send up to 150,000 emails. Also for that price, you can connect an unlimited amount of inboxes. So on most tools, you have to pay per inbox that you connect. Here, that's not the case. And that's a very good point because in our case, for example, we have almost 600 inboxes on the platform. So it will be unaffordable to pay per inbox. So just with this one platform, you can do a bunch of things. The first thing is to send emails. That's the main purpose of the platform. The second thing is to warm up your inboxes. You don't need to buy another tool to warm up your inboxes. Everything is handled by Smartlead. Also, you can buy domains and email addresses directly on the platform. They have some kind of marketplace here where you can buy Google inboxes, Outlook inboxes, and you have some SMTP providers as well. So this way, everything stays on the platform. You don't need to do your own setup directly using Google or Outlook. And here, of course, it's cheaper since they're resellers. And here you buy the domain as well. So it's a lot faster and cheaper. And it's directly connected to Smartlead, of course. You don't need to do the import of every inbox. On Smartlead, you can also handle all of your replies. So you have master inbox here. So every email that you receive on the email account that you connect on Smartlead, they will appear in master inbox. Even if it's not an email that you receive from a campaign, there will be an untracked reply. And so you can handle everything just on this platform. Another feature is smart delivery. So you can run placement tests to know if you land in the inbox or in spam. So you don't need to buy another tool for that. You don't need to use Apps, for example, that is pretty expensive. Here you need another subscription. I think it's around $50 a month. But this way you can test all of your inboxes directly on the platform and know where you're landing. They also have an email verification tool in the platform. So we personally don't use it because in general, the leads that we import in the platform are already verified. But when you import your leads in a campaign, they will ask you if you want to verify the leads. So this way you can remove the leads that are invalid. And the last feature they have is smart servers. So now you can buy and connect your own dedicated email server with your own IP to have full control over your deliverability. Otherwise, you have to share your IP with other users. So it's not necessarily bad, but this way you have full control over your deliverability. So overall, Smartlead is a very complete tool that can replace a lot of tools as we've seen, and for a pretty low price. By the way, if you'd rather have my team build and run the entire system for you, just hit the first link in the description to book a call with me. I'll walk you through what it will look like if we took care of everything for you. All right, back to the video. The second best tool is Clay. It's an amazing tool. You've probably noticed, but a lot of people are talking about this tool right now because it's probably the #1 GTM tool on the market right now. People think it's a very complicated tool to use, but it's not. You have a bit of a learning curve, but once you use it a bit, it becomes pretty intuitive. And so it's not very technical. Even if you don't know how to code or anything like that, you can learn pretty fast how to use it. So Clay is like a spreadsheet, but on which you can connect any tool. And so it's not the cheapest one. It starts per month at $149, and you might need the one at $349 to be able to have this feature integrate with any HTTP API. Because if you want to integrate a tool that is not directly integrated in the platform, you will need to connect your own API and to add your own code to be able to use it. So let me give you an example so you can better understand why Clay is a great tool. So before Clay, a basic workflow would look like this. You will need to first find your data from a certain provider and export this data in a spreadsheet, in a CSV. Then import this CSV in email finder tool to find missing emails. Then if you want better coverage, you will need to do it for, again, another tool and another tool. Then you will have a final CSV with all of your email addresses. You will need to export it, import it in an email verifier tool, wait for the verification, and also before you will need to wait for all of the enrichment. So at each step, you have some waiting time. Then when the email addresses are verified, you will need to export the CSV and import it in a catch-all verification tool, export it again in a spreadsheet to clean the company names, job titles, etc., and then import it in your email sending platform like Smartlead. And so with Clay, everything is automated. You just have to set it up one time, and then you import your leads and you just run the whole workflow, and everything is going to be done. You just have to wait an hour or two, depending on how fast the tools in the background are working, and then it's done. Either way, I'll create another video for a walkthrough of Clay to talk about its capabilities, but let me give you another great feature of Clay. So basic way to use AI in Clay is to create a new column, connect GPT or Claude, give it a prompt, add some variables that are in other columns, and get some output. But another way to use AI in Clay is to use ClayGent. So ClayGent is probably the best feature that Clay has right now. It's here, AI and ClayGent. So the difference between just a basic prompt with AI, it's that here it's going to search on the web. So if you want to extract information and specific information from a website or from a Google search, ClayGent can search on the web, search on their website, and gives you information that you want. If you want to know what's the price of their product and it's written on their website, it's going to give it to you. If you want to get some case studies that they have, like companies they worked with, all of that, you can get it at scale using ClayGent in Clay. So overall, Clay is definitely the most powerful tool that you can have in your tool stack. So on Clay, you can directly import leads from Sales Navigator or Google Map. I think they also have other places from which you can scrape directly leads staying in Clay. But a better way to source leads, and that's how we do it, is to use Apollo. So Apollo is a massive database. They have more than 200 million contacts on the platform. And that's what we use to source leads. So in general, we source leads using Apollo, and then we import them in Clay. So the data from Apollo is mainly coming from LinkedIn. So Apollo is scraping LinkedIn data. They don't only do that, but that's mainly where their database is coming from. And so we don't use directly Sales Navigator because the filters on Apollo are 10 times better. They're way more accurate. And also because it's very hard to scrape LinkedIn Sales Navigator. They have a lot of restrictions, so it's better to use Apollo. So if your target market has a presence on LinkedIn, then Apollo is a great database for you. if they don't have a presence on LinkedIn, for example, contractors, I don't think they're necessary on LinkedIn, then you probably need to use other tools. You need maybe to scrape Google Map. On Apollo, you can also send emails, but we don't necessarily recommend it for that. We prefer to use Smartlead. It's a way better tool. So we recommend using Apollo only to source leads. So Apollo is not that expensive. For $99 a month, you can source 10,000 leads. But the problem with Apollo is that they're adding more and more restrictions over time. And so it's becoming very complicated to export your leads. And that's where our next tool comes in. So the next tool is Apify. Apify is a marketplace of scrapers for almost anything. As you can see here, you can export the data from TikTok, Google Maps, Instagram, Amazon, and of course, Apollo. So Apify is very affordable. For $39 a month, you can export probably from 20 to 30,000 leads from Apollo. And also they offer you at the beginning $5 so you can test. Also on Apify, you don't need to be technical. You just pick a scraper, you add your parameters, and then you just run it and it's going to export the leads directly for you. Also, Apify can be integrated in Clay. So for example, if you want to export the Facebook ad library of companies, you can just add a new column in Clay, add the Apify integration, choose the right scraper, and you run it and it's going to scrape all of the text of the Facebook ads that the company is running. The final tool is Kitt. So Kitt is an email finder and email verifier. So there's nothing special about that. There are many on the market, but Kitt is very affordable. It's one of the cheapest and it has great coverage. So as you can see here, you only pay that amount per found email and that amount per verification. Also, it's pay as you go, so you don't pay for credits that you don't use. And so we use it because, of course, many times when we export leads from Apollo doesn't have the email. So then we use Kitt and other tools to find the email that then we verify. So we don't use only Kitt, but it's the first one in our waterfall enrichment because it's the cheapest and it has great coverage, as I said. So that's the exact stack of cold email tools we recommend and we use every single day. So just with those 5 tools, you can run your outbound, like your whole outbound system without the need for other tools. Now, if you want us to build and run the entire outbound system for you, so you don't have to do anything I talked about in this video and just focus on closing deals, you can just hit the first link in the description and book a call with me. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe. I'll be posting more tutorials and strategies to help you scale outbound. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.